Howdy there, West Michigan meteorologist Will Haney here. It is Thursday, April 10th. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the somewhat gray day today. Pretty chilly out there, of course, but we do have some brighter weather to tell you about and also some warmer weather, which I'm sure many of us are pretty stoked about, especially after the last 48 hours or so. We saw about an inch of snow in Kalamazoo. There were some areas that saw about an inch to 2 inches on the grass and elevated surfaces, mainly late last night through the early overnight hours. That snow, of course, not really an impact to travel, just road surface temperatures were well above freezing. So it was mainly a grassy accumulation, but some vehicles, your grass, your deck, for example, may have picked up a few inches of snow, but that is all now in the rearview mirror. We're looking forward to some warmer air. There's some severe storms across portions of Alabama and Georgia right now, where there's a severe thunderstorm watch and play. Nothing really in our neck of the woods. In fact, the clouds already showing some signs of eroding here in West Michigan. So we are going to see a clearing trend into the overnight. This was our high temperatures today. You can see 42 in Kalamazoo. That marks the coldest high temperature we've seen since March 21st. So definitely well below average. And of course, the coldest daytime that we've had in a few weeks. So as we look at hour by hour through early tomorrow, we should continue to see the clouds clear. That will pave the way for a pretty cold overnight. So some upper 20s, low 30s by daybreak tomorrow. And throughout the day for your Friday, we are looking at a warmer day after that cold start, some lower 40s by lunchtime, and then eventually a run, I think, into the low 50s for an afternoon high for tomorrow. And this is just the start of several warmer days. And so I kind of made this into a little snapshot format. I think today everyone kind of gloomy. 42 was the observed high. Tomorrow, 52 will do it with the high and with plenty of sunshine too. And that's just the start of a nice warm up that carries us into the weekend. We will be even warmer both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday also very bright, very sunny. Hello, Jeanette, with a high of 57. And then for Sunday, even warmer, but a little bit more cloudy with a few scattered showers in the forecast for probably late morning or by late afternoon and into the evening especially. So we'll have similar rain chances around for Monday and Tuesday as well, just some scattered showers, but nothing necessarily in the way of a widespread soaking rain, and definitely not necessarily even a washout. Hello, Ken. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for commenting on here. Hopefully I'm looking a little choppy on my end. Hopefully I'm coming through okay. The other thing I will say is in those same days, Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday, the wind will pick up a little bit. So we'll have some gusts starting to get up into that 30 to 35 mile an hour range, probably especially Sunday and Monday, and into Tuesday behind a cold front. I do want to show you all just really quickly a few things, a couple updates that dropped today from the National Weather Service. The first one being that there was another tornado confirmed actually in Kent County from 2 Sundays ago. So Sunday, March 30th. I'm going to pull that up, maybe, if I can find it. There we go. So up in Kent County, just north of Kent City. That's in the northwestern corner of Kent County. There was an additional EF1 tornado confirmed. Max winds around 95 miles an hour. National Weather Service noting a lot of tree damage that looked like this in a fairly narrow path. Let me see if I can fix that. Of course not. Of course not. Hold on. I wanted to freeze frame so I can show the picture. So the National Weather Service gave us a few pictures today. Good evening, Rob and Ken again. A lot of images like this. Some healthy, mature trees kind of snapped in half. Tree damage was splayed in a direction consistent with a tornado. I have had some folks message me and say, well, we had a lot of damage too, and the National Weather Service, why people are confident that they had tornadoes where they lived. What I will say about that is that 60 to 70 mile an hour gusts were pretty widespread. So we had numerous, pretty much almost everyone that saw those storms that Sunday, this was 2 Sundays ago, had at least like 60 mile an hour winds. There were some localized pockets of even 70 to 80 mile an hour winds. And then even more so, there were a few isolated gusts over 80 miles an hour. What I will say is that the damage with 70 to 80 mile an hour winds is going to look very, very similar to tornado damage to the untrained eye. So you can still have, very large trees uprooted, especially unhealthy trees. You can still have trees split. You can still have, a carport lifted up. You can still have a boat dock lifted up or flipped. So sometimes, we think, oh man, there was so much damage. Surely there was a tornado. The National Weather Service, they scan through radar scans, and then they do often survey some areas, but they're looking for very specific damage indicators of a tornado. We had widespread winds. We had some microburst style or downburst style winds as well, which can lead to more localized wind damage. But they're looking for very specific things when it comes to tornadoes. It's not like some big conspiracy theory. They're not like purposefully not declaring tornadoes or anything like that. They're very skilled in finding those tornadoes. So that's like the latest update. To my knowledge, I don't know if they're going to survey any additional areas. This was actually kind of a surprise to me. I will say it is a little uncommon to see a tornado confirmed this late, but there were so many that day that they're probably kind of like backlogged a little bit. So maybe we see some more confirmed, but I doubt it, at least at this stage. So again, max winds around 95 miles an hour. This was in northern Kent County. So this is our total so far in 2025. Just for West Michigan, we've seen 11 in our area, with 4 of them all happening on March 30th, just in Kent County. And then there were additional tornadoes that happened elsewhere. Really across the state now, though, that brings our Michigan tornado count to 15. When we average in an entire calendar year, only 13. Now, granted, that average is a moving 30-year average. So that's the most recent one from 1995 to 2024. It can vary anywhere when you look at like 30-year intervals. It's varied in recent years, anywhere from like 13 to 15. So what I will say is we're pretty much near our average tornadoes, but we're only, just tip of the iceberg as far as severe weather season. Now, typically we see the most active severe weather as we get into late March through May. That's obviously kind of the spring weather, severe weather season, but obviously we've seen numerous severe weather events happen in the summer as well, including tornadoes, and even into the fall. So we still have a lot of the year left. So this could end up being a pretty remarkable year as far as tornadoes in Michigan. Right now, things are quieting down, though, and we're not too worried about anything like that in the near term. What I will also highlight that I put in the little teaser of this video. Good evening, Jerry. Good evening, Jesse. Good evening. 1 inch of snow this morning, Steve. I believe it. That's about what I had at my house, but mainly just on like my deck. What I really wanted to just update all of you to those is some good news. So we talked about the tornadoes. Let's segue now to some good news. Good news is the drought monitor in our state continues to shrink as far as the drought conditions, that is. So we have in West Michigan now mostly just abnormally dry conditions highlighted there in yellow. It's kind of like a pre-drought condition, if you will. And it means that some of your grasses, some vegetation may still be a little bit dry. But we're talking at this point, because we've had so much rain in the last few weeks, we would be talking about deep soil moisture. And we're still looking at just like overall long-term, the last several months of rainfall and how it compares to average. So the good news is because we had all that soaking rain, not only from mostly in the storms about a week ago, it was like mid last week. I think it was not yesterday, but a week ago, Wednesday. That we saw that widespread soaking rain. We even saw some flooding in Kalamazoo. That really helped alleviate a lot of our drought concerns. So that's really good news. We only have now 28% of the state that's abnormally dry and only 7% that is technically considered under a drought. Whereas a few weeks ago, that number was much higher. I'd have to pull it up to be exact, but I think the number was well over like a quarter of the state. Okay, I thought I lost you guys for a second. Hold on. I could tell you pretty quickly. But anyways, this is great news for farmers. Not that we were in growing season. Drought is always a little bit more concerning when we're in growing season, like in the, summer, especially into the fall. But, we never like to see drought conditions just in general for numerous reasons. But yeah, so as of just last week, the number of the percentage of Michigan that was in drought, at least moderate drought, was 25%. 3 months ago, half the state was at least in moderate drought. So that really goes to show, coming out of the winter, we were very dry actually, as far as soil moisture content, which then plays into crops and all that stuff. So that's some really good improvement that we've had mainly within the last couple weeks. All right, really quickly, because I am running out of time, I'm going to segue to the 7 day just to talk on a couple things. So again, sunny, brighter weather the next couple days, 52 the high, plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Look for a mood boost from your coworkers, your colleagues, your friends, your family. Everyone's going to be happier, right? Everybody. And then Saturday especially, we'll start the next couple days pretty cold though, some upper 20s. So kind of a tricky day to dress for, right? In the morning, you'll probably still want like a lighter coat, especially if you're walking the dog. You might even want a hat and gloves still. But then as we get into the afternoon, sunny and much warmer, especially compared to the last 24 hours. Again, some scattered showers around Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It'll also be windier in that time frame, especially Sunday, Monday, that 64 to 46. That will come with some wind and probably a little bit of rain as well. But I don't see a widespread soaking rain in the forecast, which is good because our rivers are still a little swollen after last week's rain. So it's a good thing that we don't have any widespread, several inches of rain like we had a little bit ago. So yeah, with that, I am going to be wrapping this up fairly shortly. And we should be good to go. I'm going to be over on the Arc West Michigan at 10 and then News Channel 3 at 11 tonight. I hope you join me. Oh, yeah. And by the way, Western Hockey going to the Natty, baby. They're going to play. They played in St. Louis tonight, my hometown, funny enough. And they will be playing on Saturday night now against Boston or Penn State. But that game is ongoing as we speak. All right. Can we have ribeye steak this weekend? Oh, Carol, you're always teasing me with that ribeye steak. Yes, you can have ribeye steak. I would say Sunday or Saturday, a little bit better of a chance. Sunday, if you wait until the evening, we may have some stray showers, but I don't think it's much of a washout. You may just have to bring the umbrella, just intermittently. All right. Just reading through these comments. Carla, what's up in West Portage? Jesse had 3 inches this morning. Dang. Keith and Melissa, you're welcome. And Saturday looks great for horseback riding, Jesse. And Jules saying, go Broncos. Let's go. Let's ride, as they say. All right. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I'll see you over on, again, the Arc at 10 and then News Channel 3 at 11. Appreciate all of you and have a great Thursday. I'm also in tomorrow for Keith, so I'll try and hop on here and do a little weekend update for tomorrow night, and hopefully a little earlier. I apologize. It was a little tardy tonight. I was having some issues getting some things done a little earlier. I was hitting some technical hangups. So appreciate all of you and enjoy the sunshine. All right, bye.